Hey guys, Cole here. Welcome back to another video. I really wanted to dive in today and jump into some of the updates that honestly, it feels like they were right under my nose and I'd missed as I've been really busy building out a lot of really cool things. Honestly, when they're ready, I'm so excited to show you guys. So Gemini just came out with Gemini 1.5, and I'm honestly really surprised I missed it because I try to keep up to date with all the little things that are going on. But a lot of really cool things has happened there, and I really want to take an opportunity to walk through it, talk about some of it, and go in. Um, Again, Gemini 1.5 just recently came out. If anyone's already been playing around with it and with some of the updates that have been launched, I'd really love to get your guys' ideas and thoughts and input on it. I predominantly use OpenAI or Llama just because I like Llama because I can use it because it's free, and then OpenAI just because all the updates that it gets for the types of things I do, right? But in this, I've really seen that the Google team's really been doing a lot with trying to push their AI model to really have a solid step up against the key competitors in the space. And looking at the OpenAI's updates, here we go. Let me see. It does has shown to dramatically enhance the performance of their stuff. Their token context window is substantially larger. If you see here, this is typical contact link between some of these platforms compared to others. This is GPT-4 Turbo. Unfortunately, they don't have the one for 4.0 or just O. However, you're still seeing a solid improvement on their side of this. And I have found that I've really liked using Gemini for some code-based tasks as long as things are well prompted. I think it does a pretty good job in terms of outputs. And so going in here, really they're diving into a lot of the context tokens, allowing you to provide more data and clarity, as well as just being able to provide it more information right within a single series of prompts. Let's see here. Well, actually, we're going to click on this video, see what it says. Mm, So in here, they sort of are highlighting an example of a demo of the platform. And don't worry, guys. I don't think the audio is probably going to come through. What I'm going to do is I'll share links to everything we're walking through, so that if you want to review them, you're able to do so outside of this. What's been really good and the biggest improvement we're starting to see with a lot of AI models, and especially it looks like with Gemini 1.5 Pro, is improved reasoning. Now, reasoning is really important because it's actually able to sit there, think on something much more like we would, and uh, process the information and give a more thought out answer, right? Often you're just getting uh, a type of answer that's ideally best aligned to the question or the information given. However, in these instances, you might start to see it go, here's a different direction, here's other input based on your information and my other knowledge, here's like my updated answer. I could actually show maybe some examples of that with 4.0 where or just O, where it's actually done a really good job of actually sitting there thinking, processing that information. And Gemini 1.5 has actually started to do that, which is really, really cool. Yeah, again, relevant problem solving. One of the biggest frustrations when it comes to using AI right now is that you it ends up missing a lot of the information in the middle. It's sort of like if you were reading a book and you remembered the home, like the cover and maybe the first chapter, and then you only remembered the very ending chapter of that whole book, and everything in the middle just sort of gets fuzzy and blurry, and there's a lot of hallucinations and the data quality can deteriorate. Well, what's nice is that the AI systems are doing a better job of understanding that information that's in the meat of the book, let's say, and actually doing a better job of problem solving it across these longer context lengths, which is so much better, right? So now instead of us giving it a comic book, we can now give it a Wikipedia, a week. What is it? The encyclopedia book of information, and it's doing a much better job of actually digesting all of it and then restating it or giving its own opinions or thoughts on that information. Overall, they have seen a really solid improvement on the benchmarks. We're actually going to review that here in just a minute. So here's the updated DeepMind Google page, and they got a lot of the fun, really cool ways of presenting this. Now, they have this video, and again, I will share it because I think it does a better job in some areas of just showing you what's possible. As again, Google's looking to implement this stuff into all of their devices, all of their technology, into the browser, and then also giving you the ability to then embed that into your own AI automation systems, right? Whether you're using Make or a locally hosted no code system or your own custom coded system, right? So with all of this, let's see. Here is the some of the benchmarks. I really want to look at its comparative benchmarks. And we're going to scroll through here. Updated. Yeah, this is what we wanted. Updated production, reduced 1.5 Pro pricing and increased rate limits and more. This is so awesome because, frankly, costs can get really high when you are doing a lot of processing. And to see that the platforms are doing a much better job with their costs and increased efficiency is just a really good thing to see. So overall, um, we have had a lot of gains when it comes to math, its ability to do visual responses or to take in visual based information, images, videos, GIFs, what have you, right? And then processing and analyzing that information effectively. In here, it does have an outline of the pieces we were shown here. I really want to find the one that I had, which was sharing the comparison. However, in here, regardless, we're seeing a solid improvement going into today that our costs are basically cut in more than half in most cases, right? So 50%, 50%, what is it? That's like 60% reduction, so on and so forth. So as you go through and you start using it, you're going to really hopefully cut most of your costs, your effective costs in half, which is going to allow you to just sit there and either process more effectively at a cheaper rate, or just to double down on something without having to worry about that the added cost that would come in, right? Another great thing here is we're getting faster output and less lag between that output. As you've seen here, we're getting these solid improvements in terms of speed and the latency time, just getting a better and faster response coming through. There's some other interesting updates. But one of the things I really liked going and checking out is Twitter, where you're actually consistently keeping up to date with the people that are working on the Gemini team, or just a part of Google, or just really a part of any company you're wanting to really just stay in the know with. I feel like you're able to get little nuggets of information going into it from there. So their experimental version of Gemini 1.5 Pro, in the studio, it has been doing a really good job. They did do a lot of comparisons here, and they have been seeing a lot of updates. Let me open this one up. Overall, they're crushing it in math, instructive data, coding, and some hard prompts. Now, they're not always beating OpenAI in a lot of ways. It's just OpenAI is just doing such a damn good job, frankly, when it comes to taking in information and regurgitating it. I think really a lot of it's just due to them being so heavily invested there. I mean, it's their bread and butter at this point, where a lot of other businesses, they've had it as a part of their business, but has not been their central focus until more recent, right? In a lot of ways. And so in here, we're seeing a pretty good improvement across the board comparison. What I'm really curious to see, though, is how the Gemini 1.5 Pro does as more people go into testing and optimization and seeing where, not just looking at the benchmarks that we have here, but seeing where they get the most value out of the tool in comparison to existing systems that they've already embedded, if they haven't already just been building on, say, Gemini 1.5, right, prior to the Pro. And so in here, we have a bunch of little updates as to its multilingual capability and it doing a much better job of processing other languages than just English. It's also its ability in technical domains such as coding, hard prompting, etc., in comparison to OpenAI and ChatGPT. 4.0 is just doing such a damn good job. Claude does so good. Its ability to visually present information, as well as put things together in like a visual context window on the side, is so nice. I love the UI interface of it. And so, I've gone through and I've looked at a few different things here, and honestly, I feel like it's there's a lot of really good room here for Google to start taking up some added space within the market. Now, I will say, as exciting as this is, for me so far, I've noticed that it's sort of in its own. It does best in a limited frame, right? And it's limited focus. And I feel like that's how a lot of these AIs are going to be as they progress. If you try to do all aspects, right, of AI, it can get better, but I would say you likely going to get the best output by having something hyper trained and hyper focused on one type of objective, say coding, mathematics, science, engineering, what have you. And you're just going to see that these platforms, I feel, begin moving into one key direction or another going forward. So if you guys haven't used Gemini, or you've already been using it, but you just need access to where you're going to go, I'm going to put a link to this down below. However, you can come in here, start playing around with it, get access to the latest model, play around with it, and see what the potential really is with the Gemini system. Again, I'd really love to get your guys' thoughts and input on using this versus OpenAI or Claude. Again, I still personally really lean towards using Claude and OpenAI. Claude I use for, I'll just say it this way, I use ChatGPT 4.0 or just O in a lot of cases to go through and do the reasoning and the outline and the strategy and planning of something. And then I'll take that and I'll push it into Claude, allowing me to then get much more action-oriented outcomes or outputs from it. I've not that Google's Gemini system isn't great. It's not been as valuable to me. So if you guys are using it, I would love to know what your guys' thoughts are. What has it been like? Why are you using it versus the other systems? And really, where do you think these things are going to go moving forward? All right, guys, if you have any other questions, let me know. Put them down in the comments. Otherwise, I will see you guys in another video. Thanks.